Good morning. We'll call the DRC meeting to order, July 10th, 2024, and we'll start with roll call. Community Development, Bobby Howell is present. Police. Public Services.
Richard's here.
Fire. And Building.
John Hanson.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is future land use amendment for Chandler Hills. First submittal, I'm the project manager. I believe the applicant's in attendance. We did receive comments from the DRC. Now's your chance to address those if you have any questions. Okay. With that, we will go around. Community Development stands by the comments that were generated. Police.
No comments.
Public Services.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Fire.
No comments.
And Building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is North Orange Animal Hospital Construction Site Plan third submittal, and Amir Hamza is the project manager.
Good morning, everyone. So this is a project on Orange Blossom.
All right, for North Orange Animal Hospital, we'll go around. Community Development stands by the comments that are generated. Police.
No comments.
Public Services.
No comments.
Fire.
No comments.
Building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
And while you're here, we'll go ahead and do Dutch Brothers, since it's on the basically same project.
Yeah, it's basically adjacent to the Orange North Animal Hospital, and it's also zoned community commercial. And applicant here is in attendance. No other additional comments or questions. Okay.
All right, perfect. Community Development has no other additional comments or questions. Police.
No other comments.
Public Services.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Fire.
No comments.
Building.
I don't have anything,
All
thanks.
right, thank you, Amir. Next item, Shops at East Shore Construction Site Plan. Gene Sanchez is the project manager.
Bobby, this is the fourth submittal of the shops at East Shore. This is actually phase one, which includes the out parcels as well as the grocer. I only had one comment. The other comment was addressed yesterday, and it has to do with walkways or pathways or crosswalks to out parcel buildings from the parking lot. Other than that, I don't really have any comments. I didn't get any comments from DRC as well.
Okay. Is the applicant in attendance?
Yes.
All right. Any questions, comments?
If that's the only comment, I just want to make sure that's the only one, and we're good.
Okay. We will go around. Community Development has no other comments or questions. Police.
No comments.
Public Services.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay. Fire.
No comments.
Building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the second submittal for the Crossroads Kelly Park Plat Phase 1B, and Gene Sanchez is project manager.
Bobby, the legal comments that were outstanding on this plat have already been addressed, so we're gonna schedule it for tentative public hearing dates.
Okay, and that would be Planning Commission and City Council.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Is the applicant in attendance? You have any questions or comments? All right. Community Development has no other questions or comments. Police.
No comments.
Public Services.
I don't have anything else, thank you.
Fire.
No comments.
Building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
Okay. Last item on the agenda is discussion, the third amendment to the Kelly Park Agreement, as is known as the Pioneering Agreement. I believe applicants' representatives are in attendance. Oh, the development agreement, I'm sorry. The Kelly
No,
Park.
this is
property.
the
Yeah, my
Crossroads
mistake.
Agreement, previously known as the Kelly Park Agreement. As I understand it, it's still trying to make its way to a project manager for this item. So, based on my discussion with Richard this morning, I'd like to pull it off the agenda for now.
Okay, with that, we will pull it from the agenda. I know the applicants are here. But,
Can we talk about that first?
Sure.
I would like to go ahead and leave it on the agenda. I assume, although I didn't see my name on this until 8:30 this morning, I assume that the agreement was distributed to DRC. Do you happen to know? Does anyone happen to know if that's the case? I mean, I don't think anyone else is going to look at a transportation impact fee related agreement other than public services at this time. So, but then on the second side, we've decided long ago that all these development agreements all go to DRC and we all at least have a chance to look at them. So, did everybody have a chance to look at this agreement in case it needs to go on the next city council agenda, or are there any comments?
As I understand this also hasn't been reviewed by legal. We haven't received a pass-through fee just yet. So
Do you know if anyone has sent it to legal to review?
I haven't received anything. I don't think planning. Yeah, I just asked our secretary today, and they haven't received anything.
Do you happen to know where the original Kelly Park amendment is, which is different apparently from the pioneering agreement? I do not have a copy of it.
I have. I think I have a recorded copy. Any of the copies we can get from Susan. I have a recorded copy of the original agreement, as well as the second amendment to it. I haven't seen the first amendment to it. Okay. You have it? Okay. So we can track those down.
All right. Well, yeah. If y'all could forward those to me, that would help.
And maybe it'd be helpful since Jacob Schumer's here to kind of go over a timeline of the amendments to the agreement and like an overview of it, so everybody is aware of the background of the agreement.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jacob Schumer. Today I'm here as an attorney for the developer on this project, but at one time I was working on these agreements for the city. The Pioneer Agreement is a separate issue. A lot of things about impact fee credits, and there are some impact fee credits provisions in this agreement. But the original agreement was executed in a few years ago. I want to say 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, which didn't include much in terms of transportation. It contemplated that a transportation agreement would come later, or an amendment would come later. And then there was an amendment which went through how all the transportation regarding this project was going to be, the ordering, impact fee credits, etc. There was a second clarifying amendment relatively recently, and this is just another one of those. So this is all pertaining to that one specific development. It's not the overall Kelly Park project. And yeah, that's the general timeline. Any other questions that I could help with?
Yes. I'm glad you're here. Since I haven't seen it, could you send me? I think you already volunteered with Bobby, maybe
Right,
to
we
send me
can
the
certainly
original
send you
agreement
copies.
and the amendment one. And could you please lay out the chronology that you just discussed?
I'm sorry, I wish I had the dates. I don't know. Do you have the dates available with you?
I don't have the dates, Richard, but the original agreement was probably 2 or 3 years ago that was done, and then we did a first and second amendment, and then recently this year the pioneering agreement was approved for the 4-laning of Kelly Park Road. So our original agreements contemplated a 2-lane rural section for that intersection, and so this was done. The pioneering agreement was done a couple of years after that, which is why we're having to go back and amend our original developers agreement.
Okay, so you know where I am. I am trying my best to keep the transportation impact fees agreements moving forward with absolutely no information available to me, and certainly no chronology of events. And the relationship between the pioneering agreement and the Kelly Park agreement and what areas they cover, and maybe that's covered in exhibits that'll be attached to the agreements. But just heads up, 9 times out of 10, the when I get a copy of a copy, I can't see the exhibit. So I'm trying to read the agreement and I can't see the exhibit. So if you could get me all that, and what I'm geared towards is that if this is on DRC, I think this is likely the one that, well, I don't know. There's 2 that are being pushed to go on City Council. City Council had questions on the Pioneer Agreement last night at City Council. We didn't have anybody that could answer because we're in trying to fill vacant positions. So if you could help me help you by explaining this whole thing to me and giving me a chronology so I can try to understand it and be able to present the City Council the agreement, it would help me enormously.
Yep. And for the purposes of this amendment, just to give you background, maybe the main thrust of this agreement is that earlier agreement contemplated that it was going to take a long time to expand Kelly Park Road. And so it contemplated that there would have to be temporary turn lanes for to get onto Waypoint Boulevard, the entrance road. I believe both parties are in agreement that we don't want to force the completion of these temporary turn lanes when we are now acting to just start building the permanent improvements now. And so requiring the developer to complete temporary turn lanes when they are actively trying to start the permanent turn lanes doesn't really make sense. It doesn't benefit anybody. And so this agreement would basically say if you've started the permanent construction and the city's in the same position as if you completed the temporary turn lanes, and that's good enough for that provision. Anyway, that's just to give some background on what the purpose of this amendment is.
Yeah.
In the summary you give me, if you could explain that again, I'm going to have to try to explain it to other people. One of the agreements is 50 pages long. And this area waypoint that you're talking about,
Right.
is in both agreements. So I don't understand how it works yet.
Yeah. Richard, if we're scheduled for city council in August, that gives us a few weeks. We can get with you and get you up to speed on how these two agreements intertwine with each other, if that works.
Well, I pray every night we'll have someone else here that you can explain that to other than me. But we'll do that if we need to.
And Richard, did you have any other questions as far as Round Lake? I saw your email yesterday to Mike and I. Looks like Orange County doesn't have any objections. We just haven't had clear direction whether or not to proceed with them. So if that's the direction, we're not nixing or removing that obligation. We're just extending the completion time frame so Mark Stelly can wrap those plans up. Need to go get some grading easements and then get them built.
And I'm trying to get that on city council agenda, but again, this is the same thing. Commissioner Velasquez was asking some very pointed questions.
Sure.
Someone's got to understand the agreement inside out to go
Sure.
to city council, and I haven't had time to do that.
Sure.
I have been directed to attempt to try to do some of that today, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
And one other item, Richard, that I wanted to bring up is that FE water main extension. I know Mike sent you an email on that yesterday. You responded about it. What we'd like to do is I can have Jake add a provision to the agreement to extend that just to 12 months after the upsizing agreement is approved by City Council. And we'll hand you that letter from Mark Stelly confirming there's no issues with that as well, if that's okay. We'd just like to add that in between DRC and City Council, if that works.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think anybody else on DRC needs to see that letter. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other questions or comments in regards to the Third Amendment to the Kelly Park property? All right. Any other items for discussion amongst the DRC? All right, we're adjourned.